Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about my Bookish New Year resolutions for 2024 to you. And I've got 5 resolutions and I will just go through them quickly and maybe you can take some inspiration for your own reading for the next year. The first idea that I had was just actually to track my reading, because I realized that I'm reading so many novels, short stories, poetry that I don't really keep in mind so much because I don't track what I have read. So I only document it here on YouTube, but I read way more than I'm discussing on here. So it's a little sad that the other stories are going missing in a way because I don't write my thoughts about them down all the time and I don't reflect on what I liked about them. And sometimes I read a novel and I just forget that I read it because I don't track it somewhere. So I thought about maybe writing like a book journal, like 1 page per story or poem, and just write down what I like about it and maybe some notes on the author and what I didn't like, maybe even also about the books that I stop reading because I don't enjoy them, and just put down some thoughts on why I don't enjoy them and maybe I want to get back to that. And the second point would be to read more Japanese classics, because I realized that I'm a huge fan of Japanese fiction and I read a lot of modern fiction actually, but I also want to read more of the classics, like the modern classics, especially starting from the late 19th century onwards through the 20th century. Authors like Kawabata Yasunari, Akutagawa, Natsume Soseki. There's so many that I actually want to get into so much more, and I'm so interested in that. And I'm even taking a class on Japanese literature at the moment, an online class. I will talk about that a little bit more in the future. And I'm learning so much, and I'm also reading a book on Japanese literary history, I am also reading a book on Japanese literary history, and I want to share so much more about that because I'm so interested in that. So I'm just giving myself some more time to invest in that. The third point would be to support the local bookstores here in my little town, because there's so wonderfully curated stores, I think, and the owners, most of the time, they are very knowledgeable about the books that they present and they offer. And when you ask them for something specific, most of the time they can give so well. When you ask them about something specific or ask for advice, most of the time they can give you very good ideas for what to look for or special recommendations. And I think that's worth so much, and I really want to support that because that's the kind of network and culture that I want to invest in and that I want to curate in a way as well and to support, because I think that's like the world I want to live in, like where people can live off books and selling and discussing and writing, reading. That's such a wonderful thing, so that's really worth investing in, I think. The fourth point would be to just share more books actually, because this goes together with my first point of like tracking my reading, and when I've tracked the reading I will realize which kind of books I actually enjoy the most, and I want to share them. Like I want to talk about them a lot more, and I also want to give them to people. Like when I really enjoyed a book, I just want to give it to my friends, my family, just people I know, and just not only recommend them and say, oh, you have to read that book, but rather maybe why not just buy the book and give it to someone. You can buy it secondhand as well and just say, go read that book now. And if you give a person like a physical copy, she cannot just not read it, because you gave it to her. So that's so much more wonderful, I think, than just talking about books and saying, oh, I read that book and it was lovely. That's a very nice idea, I think, as well. And the fifth point is just I observed myself and I realized that I'm so much of a mood reader, so I really enjoy reading the books that feel like they suit my current life situation or my current mood actually, like when I feel sad or melancholic or angry or happy, cheerful, depressed, whatever it may be, I specifically want to seek out the books that suit this mood, and in this way I think I can have a better reading experience as well, because I am in the right mood for the book, so I'm open enough and I can invest so much more and I can really get into the story a lot more, I think. So I'm thinking that I want to have a look for the books that I feel suit my mood a lot more. And maybe you can do that too, or just tell me what your kind of resolutions would be for the next year, if you even have some of these resolutions. I think mine are not like the biggest ones, and I intentionally don't choose something like read 100 novels or achieve this and that goal, or I don't know, for example, like I think a year ago I planned to read like the big Chinese classic stories, like The Journey to the West, for example, or The Three Kingdoms, and there's two more, I forgot the names at the moment, but I planned on reading them, but they are such huge novels and it's such an investment of time and energy and like also mental resources that I thought I cannot manage this like alongside my PhD and studying Japanese and Chinese also, so it's just not possible to read all of that all the time. So I'm just giving myself the space to enjoy literature and to just dive into the books that I want to read, you know. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video and you have a good start to the new year. See you on my channel in the next video and see you back in 2024. Bye bye.